Hello everyone. Welcome back to my chatty, sassy channel here on YouTube where I talk about all things luxury, be it luxury fashion, luxury travel, or life's luxuries in general. Today, what I want to talk to you guys about is about thinking about a different way to go about purchasing things for Christmas, and that is getting the person that you love or care about pre-loved luxury. Now, there are several reasons to do this that I'm going to get into. I myself have received pre-loved luxury as gifts. I have given pre-loved luxury as gifts. And so I just wanted to share my thoughts on the process, things to think about, things to avoid, things to consider when deciding if giving a pre-loved luxury gift is right for you, or if asking for a pre-loved luxury gift is right for you. But the one thing that is extremely key when buying pre-loved luxury, whether it's for yourself or for a gift, is to make sure to buy authentic pre-loved luxury. So I am a Christian as well as a professional accountant, and in both of these, morality is an extremely part of my life, morality and honesty. And when it comes to being a CPA, every couple of years, I have to take courses in ethics in order to keep my license so that I can keep doing my job. That is part of the reason why you are never going to see a fake bag on this channel. I do not support fakes. I'm never going to purchase a fake bag, and I always want to ensure that the pieces that I do purchase are authentic, and so I always get them authenticated. Now, I am coming from a perspective of someone who has received pre-loved luxury, pre-loved items multiple times for gifts, particularly at Christmas time. So this bag, my husband got me 2 years ago now for Christmas, and I absolutely love my Clooney BB bag. It is one of my husband's favorite bags in my collection. This bag was pre-owned. It still had all the stickers on it. Like, it was brand new. It had never been carried, but he was able to get an amazing deal on this, and so he was able to get this for me for Christmas, as well as some other things as well that he'd also wanted to get for me, that he got for me new from the store. And so this is one of my favorite items, and he was very upfront about the fact that he had gotten this pre-loved from a consignment shop that we shop at, and I was thrilled to have it, and I was even more thrilled that he saved money on it because it meant that I got more for Christmas. For my mom, a couple of years ago, he got my mom her black Vauban PM and the black Empreinte leather from Louis Vuitton. Love that bag, fantastic bag. I will link that review down below. But he was able to save so much going pre-loved, then he was also able to buy her the wallet that she'd also wanted to go in that bag. And so again, she was able to get more for Christmas within the same budget because he went pre-loved. And again, my dad was very upfront when he gave it to her of, hey, I've gotten this for you pre-loved. I had Victoria go through Fashionphile to get it for you. And we have done this in my family. My mom has had several bags that she has had her eye on that my dad has purchased pre-loved to give to her. And I don't see anything wrong with pre-loved luxury. In fact, a lot of times the older bags are going to be a lot better quality. I have a Series 1 Chanel Classic flap that I love and adore that is way better than anything that I could get in store currently. My vintage Lady Dior is one of the most unique Lady Diors that I've seen, and I was able to get such a special piece because I went pre-loved. And so I think that going pre-loved gives you the option to do a few things. One, you can get something at a much better price that you want that's still in store. Two, you have the ability to get pieces that are more unique, particularly in the vintage realm. They're going to have an even higher quality, and to me, oftentimes are even more beautiful than the new pieces. And three, you also have the option where you can get something that maybe you missed out on before because you couldn't afford it. So maybe the person that you're buying for loved the original Louis Vuitton Murakami collection, and they just didn't have the money at that stage in their life or at that stage in your life together to get it, and you are now at a place where you can afford that. You're able to go and find those pieces that don't even exist anymore and give to them. And that is so incredibly special to get to give someone something that holds a special place in their heart that they can't get for themselves. I obviously have no problem buying pre-loved. Like I said, I have been able to give things to people that I wouldn't have been able to afford to give to them if it were brand new, but because it was pre-loved, I got to do that. And that gave me a lot of joy to give them a nice gift that made it within my budget but was still very nice quality. Whenever you are looking at items though to gift, I think it is important to think about the standard of quality that the person you are giving it to wants. So one of our friends who she hunts down bags for people from Louis Vuitton, it is one of her passion projects. She says that there is a Victoria standard and there is a Lisa standard, and those are not necessarily the same two things. The Lisa standard, my mom's standard, she really wants those pristine pieces. She doesn't want to see wrinkling in the leather. She doesn't want to see scratches. She doesn't want to see blemishes. And that is important to her. She's perfectly fine with someone else having owned it, but she doesn't want it to have wear on it. And so the Lisa standard is a lot higher. So when my dad and I are searching for pieces for my mom, we are looking for items that are in giftable, in excellent condition. And we make sure, are there any marks? Are there any scuffs? Are there any smells? And that's because we know the quality of the piece that my mom would want. If I were to give her a piece that were very beat up, while she would definitely appreciate the gesture, she wouldn't necessarily enjoy carrying that piece as much. And if you're going to be spending luxury money, even pre-loved luxury money, you want to make sure that you are going to get the person something that they love. When it comes to the Victoria standard on things, I'm a little bit more free with it. I can take a little bit of wrinkling in the leather. I can take a little water spotting. I can take a little scratching. You know, I can take a little color transfer as long as they are not in very obvious places. I also look at the age of the piece and take that into consideration. So for instance, when I bought my duffel bag, my Louis Vuitton Keepall is 26 years old at this point. I didn't expect that bag to be perfect. I wanted tarnished hardware. I wanted aged leather that had patinaed. I wanted that for that piece because it added to the beauty of the piece. It also made me much more comfortable using that piece. When it came to my Series 1 Classic flap, I knew that there was a little wrinkling in the leather. I knew that it wasn't pristine and perfect brand new from store, because it was 30 years old. I didn't expect a piece to look like that. And so I was very comfortable with a piece not looking like that. And so that's one of the things to keep in mind. Sites like Fashionphile, sites like The RealReal, like Vestiaire, like Rebag, those stores have filters that you can put in whenever you are looking for stuff, but they are also very detailed in the photographs and in the quality control that they put in to make sure that the quality of the item that you are receiving is the quality of the item that you are expecting to receive. If you are concerned about the item not getting and being what you expect though, go with a place like Fashionphile that allows returns. I believe that Fashionphile and Rebag both still allow returns on all of their items within a 14-day period as long as these security tags are attached. That makes me a lot more comfortable. When the whole handbag tribe was up in New York, we went to Fashionphile in person, and there were items that I'd been looking at online that in person were way better than I were expecting, but was also in person on some of them not as good as I was expecting. And so by seeing them in person, I was able to have that comfort. Now, I hadn't paid for them yet when I saw them in person because we were there in person to see them. But had I been thinking about that item, it made me a lot more comfortable knowing that I could order them and send it back if it wasn't up to the standard that I had wanted. And I'd say 95% of the items that I looked at were in better condition in person than they looked on the website. So had I gotten them in, I would have been super thrilled. Now, the other thing to think about when giving someone pre-loved luxury or asking for pre-loved luxury is that you have to keep in mind who you are giving it to. If it is someone who is not going to enjoy that, it's not going to be a good gift. If you are asking for someone to buy you a pre-loved luxury piece, I would highly recommend having very specific links to listings that you like. Not just saying, oh yeah, I'd love a pre-loved Speedy 25. Be a little bit more specific there. Say like, I really want one that hasn't patinaed yet, or I want one from 1996, which is my birth year, and saying like, I want it from that year, I'm willing to accept lesser quality. The other thing to think about is that A lot of these stores, they have very specific links. You can do what I do and put links into a spreadsheet, and then you can send that spreadsheet to the person who does your Christmas shopping. In my case, it is my husband, so I send him my spreadsheet that I keep running constantly of things that I would like to purchase. That includes pre-loved and new items. And so at Christmas, I share the list, and then he's able to say, hey, so-and-so is wanting to get her something in this price range, and then he sends them new options, he sends them pre-loved options, but with those pre-loved options, he sends them specific links because I've taken the time to put those specific links in there. If you are going to ask someone to do something that might make them nervous, like getting a pre-loved item, give them specific links so that they know that you like that specific piece. And the other thing then, of course, to keep in mind is to make sure to get it authenticated. You can get your money back from these places if it comes back that these items are not authentic. At the very least, you can get your money back from the credit card company if you tell them, hey, this item isn't authentic and the place that I bought it from isn't giving me my money back. Credit card company will help take care of you. And they can only do that if you have gotten the piece authenticated. So make sure whenever you are doing this holiday shopping that you are staying legitimate. And if you're ready to see some fantastic Christmas gift guides, if I do say so myself, then make sure to be subscribed down below for that. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye!